Hey, this is Chris, and I thought I'd do an update on my 75-gallon planted tank. So, here it is. And this tank has been up and running. This is the second summer that I've had this tank going. Last summer, I had some horrific algae problems. And I licked those, I think, by adding the Pothos and by I had three Fluval 3.0s on top. I took two of them away and just ran one, and I replanted it with low light plants. So it did much better that way. I lost all the algae. I know that the tank is heavily stocked, and that's obviously a contributing factor. Now that the Pothos is growing so well, and you can see it's got gigantic leaves and it's growing up the wall, and I've actually cut it back significantly. I added a second Fluval 3.0 just to get some more light in the front side of the tank. The tank has been doing really well. This summer I've lost one Congo Tetra, and that was, I think, because I turned the lights on in the evening. And for some reason, after lights are out and it's dark in this room, if I turn the lights on, the Congos just lose their minds and crash into walls and things like that. So the next morning I found one dead. I also removed a female Congo Tetra, an old one from the tank last week. She wasn't looking too good. She had some white growth on her face and she wasn't eating. So I treated her with Prozi Pro in the basement, and I don't know, I looked at her last night. She didn't look fantastic, but she's still alive. So I'll check on her again when the lights come on down there, and we'll see what's going on. Otherwise, everybody in here has been really healthy. A couple of interesting things. The pelvic acromis azumini river are, I've got a bunch of fry in here, and they're starting to sex out. And so, of course, the male's going to hide on us now that I'm trying to take his picture, but there he is under the log. Really pretty pelvic acromis, and I want to get more pairs out to people that will actually work with the fish and try and pass it on and keep it in the hobby. There are very few pelvic acromis that we have collection locations for, and I know Azumini River is not the best collection location, but it's better than none at all. And this is a very pretty pelvic acromis, so I hope that I can get more and more people to start working with it. I've heard problems of people having sex ratio issues with this fish, and I don't keep it in soft water. This is about 200 parts per million, and the sex ratios that I have been getting have been reasonably good. So I'm not sure why other people need to spawn them in very soft water in order to get a decent sex ratio. That has not been the problem. Sorry again for the glare, and sorry for the dirty tank. The light looked good and the fish look good right now in this light, so I figured I would take this video now. I'm going to do a water change just after I finish this. But by the time I finish, the light will be gone. The sunlight will be gone, and the fish always look better in the sunlight. I know Ryan from Wild Fish Tanks had asked if he could get a pair of the pelvic acromis sacromontes, so I might pick out a pair of the juveniles today and send those down to him. And anybody else that's interested, just drop me a line in the chat, and I will, or in the comments, and I will certainly try and get you some. So what else is going on in here? Had a big problem with Java Fern this summer. You can see my Java Fern looks kind of crappy. I'm not sure what happened. It might have been that I did a water change with too much baking soda in the mix. I use RO water and then remineralize it, and I know that if the carbonate hardness is too high, that plants don't really like that very much. So it's possible I messed that up. Also, I'm only here once a week, and so I do a water change and I add my fertilizer all at once, and because I'm only here once a week, I've been adding a lot of fertilizer. Could be that I added too much, could be too much iron, not sure. Could also be that this monster up here has just been sucking all the nutrients out of the water immediately, and there's none left for the Java Fern. So not really sure. I changed the way I've been fertilizing. I backed off on the iron. I cut the Pothos back a little bit. and I'm using a little bit less of the Easy Green fertilizer, and I think the new leaves that are coming out on the Java Fern look good. Hopefully the problem is gone. All right, another interesting thing in this tank, this is dwarf sage, and I have never been able to grow dwarf sage in Eco-Complete. So originally this tank had just an Eco-Complete base. There's fluval stratum on top now, but there's still Eco-Complete underneath it. So I planted this dwarf sage in a flower pot with dirt and fluval stratum, and it did great, but it never sent any runners outside the pot. Just this summer, finally, I've got runners coming out of the pot. I'm not so sure I like it where it is. It was just an experiment. And so from a design aspect, it doesn't really fit where it is right now. So I'm not sure, but it is interesting that it's finally sending out runners. So I guess I should be happy about that. Anything else going on in here that's cool? I guess that's about it. I don't need to make this a terribly long video. Just wanted to update everybody on the tank and kind of keep a record of how it's going for myself. All right. Hope everybody's well, and thanks for watching. Bye.